What Lonzo thinks is a wide-ranging, free-flowing discussion where I offer my unsolicited views on everything from music, movies, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, you name it. If it's happening, I'm talking about it. My thoughts are unsolicited, but I thank you for listening. All right, I have a special guest with me, Derek Mack. Hello, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Zoe? My man, Alonzo.
Right on, right on. And I really appreciate you taking time out. I know you're a very busy person and everything, so I appreciate you taking time out to share some moments with me.
Man, I
So,
just appreciate I just appreciate you reaching out because man, you're a busy person as well, and I'm just glad to be in the number. I'm glad to be thought of in that capacity.
oh, absolutely, and you're doing big things, man. So I'm excited to have this discussion with you, and hopefully my listeners out there will also listen close and get involved in everything. So that being said, everyone out there listening, Derek Mack is actually running for public office in my hometown, our hometown, right? Of
Yes.
Warner Robins, Georgia. He is running for the city council, and you're in post one.
Post one, it's a citywide C. The other posts are sectioned off on a map, but post one, the boundaries are the entire city, so there are no boundaries.
All
The
right, all right,
entire city. Yeah.
right on.
Anybody in the city can vote. We encourage everyone within the city limits of Warner Robins, Georgia, to get on the Mack train and vote.
And that's what it's all about. And I'm glad you said that because that leads me, I guess, right into my first topic, so to speak, um, is the vote. I mean, obviously, with everything that happened in 2020 with the presidential election and the Georgia runoff, voting is like in the front of everyone's mind. And I've lived in Georgia for a long time. This is my home state. I'm from Warner Robins. I can't ever remember a time in my life before, I guess, before 2020 where voting was so important to so many people. So speak on that for a moment and how you, as someone who's running for public office, can use that as a tool to help your campaign.
Well, to be honest with you, man, I said I wanted to not give that any more energy because we don't want to have any negative tones or plant any negative seeds whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, everyone is entitled to their choice of their candidate and their right to vote for who they want to vote for.
Right.
So I don't want to bash anybody for endorsing whomever they endorse, even though it led to some really bad things in our history. But I really feel as though accountability is around the corner. That's all I have to say about that. You know, we have to take advantage of the sacrifice that our forefathers have made for us, and that's the black vote. Black votes matter, and I think this country was being decided by people for people that were not included in the decision making process. And the way people are getting out to vote now, it levels a playing field. So the people that were really comfortable with the way things were, they're not so comfortable anymore. So they're panicking.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, I really I appreciate you saying that. No negativity because it's right. Because I mean, talking about the vote and wanting folks to get out to vote, that should never be seen as a negative at all.
Right.
Because
But because the tables have turned,
mhm,
now it seems like there's fraud, voter
right,
fraud, and
right,
dead people voting and so forth. And in the state of Georgia, I think the current administration said that there were several hundred or several thousand dead persons voted,
right,
and when they did the audit, they found two.
right.
So
Yeah, exactly. And I think I read or heard somewhere. I mean, in every election since mankind, there's always going to be a certain level of impropriety. I mean, because we're human, and humans will do things that are in their best interest. So
So yeah, right. So why was that same narrative not expressed during the governor's campaign with Stacey Abrams and the current governor?
yeah, exactly, man. And I mean, it's definitely a double edged sword, and it's an oxymoron and things of that nature. And you got to fight through that, and I guess just understand that's the nature of politics. That that I guess that's you got to charge it to the game. You
Well, Alonzo, the thing that I have learned
hmm
just through life experiences, and that is when a person promotes something or is promoted to something or is promoting something, people will always draw lines in the sand
True,
and be on
very
one
true,
side or the other.
very true.
Always,
Yeah,
in everything.
very true, very true. Yeah, there's not too many Switzerlands out there, so it's hard to remain neutral. So you're
That's right.
absolutely right. All right. So that being said, all right. Let's first of all let me back up a little bit. Tell everybody about you. Give us a brief bio. Let everybody out there know who Derek Mack is.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. First of all, again, I can't express enough that how appreciative I am to giving me a platform on your forum to communicate with those that could potentially be effective in voting in the Middle Georgia area in Warner Robins, more importantly. But I am from Warner Robins, but I'm not originally from Warner Robins. But this is home for me because I moved to Warner Robins, Georgia, with my parents and my brother. I have one brother who's 6 years older than I. We moved from Port Chester, New York, and how that came about is my mother is actually from South Carolina. My father's from Alabama, and they met in New York, and so I had an uncle and aunt that were stationed here and worked at Robins Air Force Base. And everybody from New York would always come down south in the summer because everyone had roots in the south, right?
Right.
So we would come to Warner Robins and visit it like a week in the summers and stuff. And then my parents just liked it. They ended up liking it here. They liked the community here. Fell in love with it actually. And before you know it, we loaded up a U-Haul and we're moving to Warner Robins.
Wow.
And I tell you, I moved here in the second grade, and I went to Thomas Elementary School right across the street from the rec center and the current city hall. And it's amazing how things could potentially come full circle for me. And the very first person I met, when we walked into the hallway, I remember it like it was yesterday, a young kid. First person I met was our bro, Wiley Draper.
Wiley. Oh wow, for real?
The
Oh my
very
goodness.
first friend I had in
Wow.
Warner Robins, Georgia was Wiley Draper, and we remained the best of friends until his untimely death in '93.
Well, folks out there who may not be familiar with the name Wiley Draper, tell them who Wiley is.
A lot of people like to describe Wiley as lack of better words, a Michael Jackson impersonator, which he was not, as you and I know.
Right.
But he portrayed Michael Jackson in the miniseries "The Jacksons: The American Dream." He played the oldest Michael Jackson. Yep, and he's a Warner Robins native, and God bless his soul. And we just buried his mother a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
And his dad, yeah. So Wiley was a guy that was just all around. He was just all around good at everything.
Mm-hmm.
He and before all the drama, meaning drama, one act play stuff, he was an exceptional athlete. He was the best basketball player, the best football player all through Little League, rec, middle school, junior high back then. He was just a popular guy, just a humble, nice guy. And then he just was overwhelmed with talent. He had a drive that was just he had the wherewithal to do diligence to succeed in whatever he chose to do. And I just know the story on how that role came to him. But Wiley is just an awesome guy. You can Google him. You can Google him. He's just an awesome guy, man. I miss him dearly.
Yeah, absolutely. Wiley Draper, Warner Robins, Georgia legend. So,
mm-hmm. One thing people don't know is,
mm-hmm.
When he was sick, he was going to be auditioning, and it was the Batman movie. They were going to be auditioning. He was auditioning to play Robin.
Oh wow!
Black Robin.
Wow.
And then he succumbed to leukemia, and that, so he had to stop auditioning. But he was auditioning for that role of Robin in Batman.
Well, I didn't know that, so that's even more amazing. Yeah, he definitely.
That was one of those little nuggets he shared with me.
Yeah, and he definitely lived out his dream, and I can attest to the fact that he was a great basketball player because he broke my ankles on many occasions. So I'm still limping because of Wiley. So.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so all right, back on topic. Okay, now Derek Mack, originally from New York, but you are a Middle Georgia native, and you're running for city council. And why are you running for office? Let's start right there. Why? What moved you
Let me,
to?
yeah, okay, I got you. But let me go
Yeah.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going through school,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Okay.
what built the spirit of servitude, and I'll get back to that. But what built the, you know, church is where it started. Uh, Vacation Bible School, being well, having our parents, having us well grounded in the Word, and embedding into us that you were placed on this earth to serve somebody else. You know, if you have to wash someone else's feet, that's what Jesus would do. And and going through high school, I just saw the good in everybody. I was a little too sensitive to other people, and sometimes you get taken advantage of by people you trust. But we just keep pushing and keep pushing through that. And so after going through high school, I ended up enlisting the United States Army. Went overseas to Korea was my South Korea was my first duty station, and then I came when I left there. I was stationed at Fort Polk, Louisiana, where I had a couple of homeboys from right around here who was stationed with me, to include Willie Mabry, our classmate. He was
Really?
over there.
Okay.
Kenzo Norrington was
Kenzo.
stationed at Fort
All
Polk
right.
with and Tyrone Blackman and a host of others. And so I did my time in the Army, and I got out and I joined the Louisiana National Guard, where we were 100% tuition exempt, and again had homeboys and homegirls from right around the way in New Orleans. Krista Pouncey, for that matter, she was in the Jet magazine, Jet Beauty. She and I carpooled back and forth to Warner Robins from New Orleans when we both were in school, and I was in the Guard. And also Mark Ivory was down there at the time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, in New Orleans. He was going to Xavier. Matter of fact, Krista and Mark, they went to Xavier University. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I came back here, and I just started serving my community in the simplest form, man. And I was just a vessel to serve somebody, and I used my motorcycle. I like to ride motorcycles. I was in a motorcycle club where we did a lot of things quietly in our community, like back to school drives every year annually. We adopted a Boys and Girls Center here in town, and was spending time with the kids, trying to inspire them. We did fundraisers for kidney drops for this young lady from Perry. Her name was Charlene Thomas. Chris Johnson. I don't know if you heard of Chris Johnson. Went to Northside. He polarized this community. He had leukemia in '96. What's your '96? We did a fundraiser for his situation. We raised money for his medicines and stuff, and he succumbed to leukemia. And Chris was my neighbor when he was a little kid. I used to take him and his friends in my truck and take them to the store, get ice cream. I would let them help wash my vehicles and cut the grass, just to earn money, just to teach them responsibility.
Right.
And it all came back full circle. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what I'm about, for lack of better words.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. Making a contribution to society. I mean, it comes in all different shapes and forms, and to take that upon yourself, it definitely speaks towards your character as a person. So I'm assuming that is one of the reasons why you're decided to run for local office. Oh,
Well, Alonzo, I'll be completely transparent with you.
okay.
It's toyed with my spirit for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had some mentors come to me and say, "What you waiting on? Just throw it out there. What you waiting on?" I felt like I was living my life. I said, "Man, there were social fears, right? There
Right.
were social fears, and but I kept getting closer and closer, and my area of responsibilities started getting bigger and bigger, larger and larger. I led a protest. The final straw was I led a protest to Brunswick, Georgia. Um, Me and a young lady in Atlanta, her name was Keisha Dixon, and all that unrest was going on. There really wasn't anything going on in Brunswick, for that matter, after this video was surfaced. So we got together, and I asked for 1,000 motorcycles to ride to Brunswick in this protest on the behalf of Ahmaud Arbery. She got Atlanta, and I called a guy in Albany. Make a long story short, we ended up with over 3,500 to 4,000 motorcycles conveyed upon Brunswick police escort, and we went through that neighborhood and made a lot of noise, gave contributions to his father, his mother, to put in legal fees. And it was because of us that those guys got arrested, because they were not arrested at the time. And we just constantly got going back and forth to Brunswick. And we got with the NAACP and so forth, went through the neighborhoods into the random route that Ahmad did. And it just came full circle. So then people started paying attention. So come full circle, when Darren stepped down because of, his parents were ill, I said it's my time, and I just reached out to some people. Some people reached out to me, and we threw our name in the hat, and we're on the Mack train, brother.
Oh, absolutely, and that is definitely an inspiring story because I was watching. I'm up here in Atlanta, and I was watching. I was riveted to the television when everything was happening, and I saw you on television. I
Is
was
that
like,
right?
yeah, I saw you. Man. I saw you a couple times, and I mean, it was amazing just to see the outpouring of support, for that community and everything. But I had no idea that you were one of the lead organizers. You were one of the leaders uh, of that movement. So
Yeah, man, there was no need to me to speak on that,
right,
And yeah, but yeah, we did it. We did it big, and that was a very proud moment for us. And after that, man, and it kind of scared me. I'll be honest with you, but that was the very first time that the NFAC showed their head. Was at that event.
really,
That's that black militant group, and I
yeah,
filmed the video because they showed up with all those guns, and I was like, "Who is this?" And I took my phone out, and he was talking, and I said, "Say it again." Say it again. He said what he said. I won't repeat what he said, but he
right,
said what he said, and I posted it on social media, and it went viral in 26 countries. And the Russian company Redfish got a hold of it, and they contacted me and asked me could they play. At the time, I didn't know it was a Moscow-based company, but I realized there are people out there that monitor what's going on to
yeah,
promote division in our culture, and I did not like that. Even
right.
though it went viral in 26 countries, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad you brought that up as well because uh, the internet has made the world so small. I mean, you can basically reach out to anyone, anywhere, at any time, but you gotta be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be
Yeah,
careful,
you
because
have to do your research.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. So definitely good on you. So so that being said, and the temperature in the Warner Robins community as far as um, at the city level, the city, the dynamics of running the city and everything. Um, how do you feel you fit into that piece of the puzzle as far as being one of the leaders of the city?
Well, thank you for stating that. I'm a leader of the city. I don't see it that way. I just see myself as a public servant, and anyone could do what I'm doing or have done. Anyone could step to the plate and do it. It's just about having the motivation or the why to do it. And I'm gonna tell you what caused a lot of people to do a lot of things, Alonzo. They're fueled by either the trauma that they have endured or the victories that they have endured. Um, and I think when I read the major thing that this made me decide to run, I had a leak in my driveway. I mean, a leak coming out of the middle of my driveway, water, and it was just running. And I knew it wasn't on my side because the meter wasn't running, so it was on the city's side.
Mm-hmm.
So I called and called and called and called. Now keep in mind, water is constantly running down the middle of my driveway from a crack in my driveway. The seam, you know how your driveway has a seams?
Yeah.
The seam, the dirt, it just was coming up in the whole bottom half. From the middle, my driveway was like a constant running little water flow. Like the whole piece of my driveway was running, so I couldn't get anybody at the city. And then when I finally I posted it on social media. Somebody gave me a number, and I called the guy, and he told me it would be a year to a year and a half before
What?
someone could come look at my problem.
To look at it? Oh
to
my
look
goodness.
at it
Wow.
because he said the city had over 200 something leaks that were on the list before you. I said, oh no. I said, what if my car is sitting in my driveway and this water, no telling how bad it is underneath here, washes away my foundation and I have a sinkhole?
Yeah.
That's why the city of Warner Robins has so many sinkholes. Nobody's paying attention to the issue and there's no accountability. So I had to threaten to call the mayor and I got instant results. So they realized, they flagged it off, did what they had to do, and they dug a hole in my street in front of my mailbox and repositioned the pipe to come up the meter from a different way. And it just now, and then the leak just moved to a couple of streets down. I live in a pretty nice neighborhood, and the taxpayers' money, we were just wondering where it was going. So I said, you know what, there needs to be accountability at all levels. And I said, I'm running, and one of the first things I'm going to do is meet with all department heads. To get back to your question, meet with all department heads to understand their areas of responsibility, find out what's going on, and attack each problem with the city one by one. We don't want to have it scattered where we're not effective. We want to attack it one by one. Not that somebody's not doing their job, but there's no accountability. Everything needs to be held accountable, even at the city government, from the mayor, council, and all department heads to all employees need to be held accountable in the same capacity. Now, I don't want to be seen negative, but the thing that I really want to do with that is bring a new energy. That's what qualifies and bring a new energy. Have I ever held a city or a city with municipality or position or did anything like that? No, I haven't. So I have never been privy to that type of information. But does that mean that I'm not qualified for the job? Absolutely not, because I'm going to tell you this. There's nobody out there that's going to outwork me or not ask enough questions so they understand everybody's responsibility. Because how can I hold someone accountable if I don't know what their responsibilities are?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, knowledge is the key, and it's kind of hard to be effective if you don't know what you're doing. So,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
from a boots on the ground kind of standpoint, I mean, how does that translate to? Once again, I'm kind of ignorant. I'll admit I'm kind of ignorant when it comes
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the role of the
There's a
city
lot,
council.
brother. There's a
Yeah,
lot. There's a lot.
yeah, and yeah, I'll do my research and everything, try to learn as much as I can. But from a boots on the ground standpoint, how from the city council leadership um, position, how do you interact with the public? Is that something where it's strictly at the meetings, or do you, or can you be more more hands on with with the with the local population? Just kind of give me an idea as best you can, because I really don't understand that the dynamics of it.
It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that. I'm gonna tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be me. You see, that's a misconception. People think just because you hold a seat that you're better than this one. All I plan to be is a liaison of my peers from what you call the boots on the ground to the prestigious halls of our city hall. You know what I mean? And holding the seat, I understand that there should be a respect and a reverence to it, but it's also a burden of love and an astute responsibility. You need to be accessible to everyone because this is the main thing you have to keep in mind. And this is what I know: you're an elected official to serve the city. You need to make yourself accessible to whomever needs you, and that's what I plan to be. You can call me, I'll return your calls. If you have an issue, I can't promise that I can do anything because everything in the city government takes, in this city, it takes 4 votes to push an agenda. 4 votes. So everybody has to be in agreement with you. Yeah. But one of the bigger problems we're having on a larger scale, Alonzo, is Warner Robins is growing at a rapid rate. There's houses being built all in every open piece of land in Warner Robins, right? So with that, we're stressing our resources with our police, fire, emergency personnel, AMTs, because we don't have the money coming in to hire more police officers to cover those areas. So we got to find a way to bring industry here to offset the rooftops that are being built here. And we need to make Warner Robins an attractive city to attract those whether it be entrepreneurs, large industry, IT industry, whatever it is. We got to find a way to do that, because right now the cash cow for the city that's bailing us out is the simple fact that we're one of the few cities that owns its own water, sewage, and natural gas. Yeah, and like we have to have some type of incentive to be inviting for like the Toyota distribution centers, the Amazon FedEx distribution centers, and things like that. And we also got to tap into some type of way to have resources to retain the talent of our young adults. Every time someone graduates from college or high school, they leave Warner Robins. We have some of the most talented people in the world that are right from here, but they cannot sustain the wage that they deserve, because the only thing here that's paying anything is the Air Force Base. And everybody can work at the base. We got to find a way to bring some kind of firm, IT firm, some kind of software firm, or any other industry here. And one of those things I want to look at trying to do is making Robins. They were on board a while ago, but I just got to get in and do the research, making it a joint runway so these larger airplanes can come in here and be facilitated, like the FedEx. Like in the movie FedEx, that was a main hub for FedEx. We can have a distribution center here, and they can go right onto the base and fly in and out and be a hub for flying stuff all around the world from right here. And that would create jobs as well.
Oh, absolutely. And that leads me into something that I'm kind of passionate about, being from Warner Robins. So I made a point that I want to speak about this, man. So bear with me, okay? All right. Gentrification. Now, I grew up in Warner Robins, all right, born and raised. And there's a part of that town, man, that I love. Okay? I think you know what I'm talking about. South Davis, North Davis, Ignigo, that whole area. Okay? Driving through there, man, I'll be honest with you. Driving through there, man, is sad to me. Because I remember what it used to be like. And I drove my kids through there a few months back. And as I was driving through, I told my kids about how on Saturday afternoons, this place was buzzing.
Yes.
And it was a Saturday, we were driving through there, and it was like a ghost town. I'm like, it just really made me sad to see an area that held so much fondness for me. Because you know what it used to be like, man. On Saturday afternoon, man.
Hey, let me throw one at you.
Okay.
The Pinball Palace.
Yes, exactly. Pinball Palace, World of Fun. I mean,
Hey, that was the movie theater. That's where I saw Star Wars.
Me too, man.
I saw
Crush Groove. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's where everybody went. Everybody went there to the plaza.
Gun. Yeah. Top Gun. Yep.
And like I said, now, man, I mean, there's very little commerce there. I mean, it's sad to see. So as a city council person, is that something that can be put on the agenda? I mean, is there, as far as once again, I know you're not in the seat yet, but as far as is there any type of plan in place for that area, man?
See, this is the biggest misconception
Mm-hmm.
that people have. That's not the city's responsibility, because a lot of those properties are privately owned.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to, and it's blightful. It's blight.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, a lot of those landlords in those dilapidated areas around Ignico, Tabor Drive,
right,
all of that, they're owned by out-of-town landlords.
Really?
They don't live here. Absolutely. And so you gotta make a decision to spend the taxpayers' money to track them down and hold them accountable. And in the end, if they don't do what you say, then you gotta spend the taxpayers' money again to drag them into court and fight, blah, 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 blah. And I see all that back there by Vicky Lynn, and a lot of that stuff is owned by the housing authority.
Right.
As well. So my vision would be this: take a block from Green Street to beyond Ignico Drive, all the way around to Tabor Drive, all the way to 247, make it a town center, storefronts, a 10-10-10 is what we like to call it. Make it attractive, because remember back in the day, that's where all the young airmen lived.
Yeah.
So we create a condominium space for them to say, oh man, that's nice. They're coming in, new to the city, fresh ideas. But now nobody wants to invest in it because it's labeled, well, that's the baddest part of town. That's the worst part of town. But check it. If you really ride through there, there's nothing going on. It's just quiet. There's
And
nothing
see,
over there.
and that's the
It's
thing,
not.
man. That's the thing that
It's a misconception.
yeah, you're right. You're right. And the thing that the thing that pops into my mind is that opportunity. There's no
Yeah.
opportunities there. You know,
Right.
there's no opportunities to work someplace or to build a business or maybe potentially build a career or have some sort of industry there that's going to draw in people.
Absolutely.
That's going to draw in dollars. You know.
And one of the biggest conceptions or the biggest rumors
Hmm.
around here, and at one time it was a real um, viable thing, but that's not happening now. And that's that the base was going to buy everything in front of the base.
Hmm.
That's not happening.
Yeah, because
That's why there was talk about it when they were talking about the GRAM joint runway. They were going to buy this, that, and the other. And at one point, they leased out the Coca-Cola building and made it office space for contractors and a host of other ththings. But that's not the case anymore. So I'm not privy to a lot of information, but I got to get in and figure it out.
okay, so it's things like that yeah, and I can't speak for the layperson, but I think you're right. It's a misconception that I think the general public might have when it comes to how the city government, um, you know, I guess what type of reach you guys would have in regards to in an area like that, because like I said once again, there's a lot of opportunity there. But yeah, if the folks that own the properties there are folks from out of town who don't have any type of ties to the area, don't really care, then I
Right.
can understand it's kind of hard to get things done. So
Right. And I had a conversation with a current city council member about that, and because those are my concerns. Those are my valid concerns, viable concerns. Because Warner Robins, when you look at Warner Robins in Air Force Town compared to other bases, and I'll be honest with you, man, Warner Robins is an ugly city. Warner Robins is has a beautiful spirit, but it has a broken arm. You know what I mean? We got to get that arm right. In layman's terms, we got to make it attractive. When you come off that base from the Watson Gate all the way past the hospital, it's just like an olive drab. It looks like there's nothing. They're like, Lord, just think of a person that had never been here. Lord, what have I gotten myself into?
yeah, you're right.
That's what they're thinking. So we got to make it attractive, but it is a combination of things. And I don't want to speak out of turn about it, but there's a combination of things. We got to get some private people to come in and invest. Because a lot of people leave here every weekend and run to Atlanta to enjoy themselves.
Exactly.
We
You
need to
read
make
my
it
mind.
attractive.
That's
We need to make
exactly.
it attractive
Yeah.
for the young adults. We got to give them something to do because it's slowly turning into a retirement home.
Hmm.
Everybody comes through the base, but they always come back to retire. But what does that do for the young adult, the people that's willing to invest or ready to invest? We got to make it inviting to them because the senior adults, they're ready to shut it down. They're not trying to invest in anything, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you definitely read my mind there. I was going that was going to be my next question. Is that if you live in the Middle Georgia area, one Robins, you want to do something culturally or anything, you're going to have to pack up and drive to
Right.
Atlanta,
Right.
to have a good
Right.
time. And that,
And see,
Yeah.
like the 4th of July celebration,
Mhm.
I want to make that. This used to be considered the international city. A lot of different people, and just the people in place that are making the decisions are not for everybody. And you can look at it by telling the type of talent they book for the 4th of July celebration at the stadium.
oh,
That entertainment is not inviting to all the citizens of Warner Robins.
Who they
It needs to
book?
be diverse. They just always book every year is a country or southern rock band.
I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that says a lot. Okay.
Without being said.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
But I want to be careful to not be accusatory. You know what I mean?
No.
I don't want to be accusatory. And it is what it is, Alonzo. And we just need to be able. People are afraid to have the tough conversations.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you the premise of what I want to do. I just want to make I want to create that culture where we're the international city, where we're inviting everyone, that we're here to serve everybody. I want everybody to feel like they have an opportunity to have a piece of the pie. And I'm gonna tell you, like, they moved the parade from Watson to 96.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Oh my God. That's used to be like the highlight of the season.
The ROT, absolutely.
Wow.
And it's all to feed one man's business. So it's slowly becoming a model of the have and have nots. And it's feeding a man who slings his money around.
Wow. I did not know that either, man. So I'm learning a lot.
It ends at this particular entertainment complex that I won't say on 96.
Yeah, I
Parade
know.
ends there.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So.
so the people that live on Green Street,
Mm-hmm.
Sunstead, Sioux Circle, the States, they used to walk to the parade. Parents that had no transportation but just wanted to have the joy of seeing their child that may be in the band or ROTC or a little league parent whose team is in the parade march down Watson Boulevard, but they don't have the transportation to get there. They would walk and sit there and with their chairs and wait just to see their kid. But now that's not possible.
Yep, that's absolutely correct, man. And 96 is far. That's not walking distance. That's not walking distance. Now, that being said, man, I have the most important question to ask you, man. This is the most important question of our whole conversation. Okay, so I want you to think long and hard about this, man, and give me your honest, heartfelt answer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Please tell me what it is that you can do to ensure me, as a former resident of Warner Robins, Georgia, someone was born and raised there. What can you tell me to ensure me that next year the Northside Eagles are going to win the state championship and not Warner Robins?
Well, man, you know what, bro? Let me tell you something.
We got to fix this, man. We got to fix this.
Let me tell you something. I got a nugget in my hat that I cannot share.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And, brother, when it comes to fruition, you're going to be like, wow.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was sworn to secrecy.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
but on the strict note, on the serious note,
mm-hmm.
man, you have to give Warner Robins High School their absolute props. They are homegrown. They took Jamal Gorman, a former student, and they made him the head coach. Now he's one of the best top 3 programs in the state of Georgia for basketball. Warner Robins High School went to the state championship 4 years in a row. Hired the first black football coach in the history of the city.
I give props for props. I watched the game. I was there was hometown pride and everything, man. But I'm not gonna lie, man. It needs to be the blue, white, and orange, man.
That's right. I mean, there's a certain level of pride that's taking place. And this is. I'm gonna tell you what my major concern is. If you want to get down in the weeds of this, I'm gonna tell you what my major concern is.
Okay.
I used to follow Northside very, very faithfully until I got married and my stepson played for Northside, and they won a state championship in 2014. But that senior year, he tore his ACL
mm-hmm.
in the semifinal game, and the coach Kensel stopped speaking to him.
What?
In the hallways, yeah, and a host of other things that have gone on, and so I kind of backed off of him a little bit because think about it, bro. All the talent that's come through there, whatever became of them, besides a few.
Yeah, and I mean, and this was like Northside's one of the top programs in the entire country, not just the state, entire country.
Yeah. So whatever happened to all that talent?
Yeah.
What one talent? Where are they at?
Good question, man. Where did they go? I mean, what happened to them, man?
They're around here. They're around here because there's no standard in place
mm-hmm.
to qualify for the next level. So our kids are being used for profit by someone else at cash cows. So my premise is this. This is what I want to do to ensure these kids' success beyond the high school level. I want to implement a plan upon the freshman year that there's a meeting with the parents, the coach, the kid. If you do not maintain a certain GPA, and if you do not take these courses that will qualify and or quantify you to go to the next level, you cannot play for me. And that in itself will create incentive for those kids to do better scholastically.
Yeah. Yep. Because you're right. Because otherwise, you're gonna play your 3 4 years there and go nowhere and wind
And
up.
you're gonna be on the hill
Yeah.
talking about what I used to do
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
I was in high school.
That's
And you don't
that's
have
absolutely
and
right.
you don't and you never were taught life skills on how to maneuver through this cruel world.
Yeah. That is absolutely correct, man. You nailed it there. You nailed it there. And
And that's why I can appreciate coaches like Dexter Copeland, like his players come back to his program and invest in it.
mm-hmm.
You know, he has several players in the league, but they always come back and invest in the current kids. And you know, you got to care about it. You remember how it was when we were coming up,
Yeah.
how those coaches, they cared about us, man.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that they don't care about them now, because the world is different. The world is different, and it really starts at home. But when you have that meeting with the parent and you let them know the expectation, everyone can manage their expectations accordingly. Now, city government has absolutely nothing to do with that, as these are just our opinions right now. But man, I feel you. That's the Board of Education, but the city doesn't have anything to do with that. We may be able to have some influence, but that's not city business.
Wait, anything you can do, man, to bring the chip back, to the north side of town,
it's,
man.
it's coming. But man, when you hear about this nugget I got, brother, you're like, oh boy.
I got an idea in the back of my mind. I hope I'm right, but I got an idea in the back of my mind.
I ain't answering. I ain't saying nothing.
Okay, well, you can't give me a hint or anything. Do the letters MI figure in that?
No.
All right. Well, I'll leave that alone for now, then, man. I'll leave that alone for now.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. No, we're not talking about Mark Ivory.
Okay. All right.
Oh, that's my man. That's my guy.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But man, the city is a great city. Let me say this: the city is a great city. We have one of the best, if not the best, city in the state of Georgia. We just gotta get busy and moving it forward.
Yep, just need a little love, man. Just
together. Everybody, everything. Alonzo, think about it, man. Everything in this city, back in the day, everything in this city worked together on a delicate web of unity. The only time we were divided was when Northside played Warner Robins. But that was all about pride.
Yeah.
That was instilled in the elementary school level. And we need to recapture that. Make it inclusive for everybody, man. And no matter what race, what gender, what religion, it was inclusive for everyone. I just don't ever remember any racial tension. I don't remember any of that. None of that.
I don't either, man. No, not at all.
None of it.
And that's one of the things that saddens me the most, man, is now, at our, the age that we're at now, man, to kind of think back like, I went to school with that person, and that person, and that person, and they weren't like that back then. What happened?
Right.
Has life hit you in the ass that hard to where you become this other thing that we don't recognize anymore? Because I loved everybody back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I mean,
you know what it is? It's trained thoughts, bro.
Man.
Trained thoughts. And we're fueled by some narrative, some kind of way, that someone taught somebody. Or someone had a bad experience with something in life that changed them. And I had an old star man tell me one time, he said, in order for a person to change their ways, a severe emotional event has had to have occurred. It could be a divorce. It could be anything. Somebody stole something from you. Somebody did something to you. Anything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess everybody has a breaking point where they can snap and things kind of going. Life leads us all in different directions. So I get it,
Absolutely.
I get it, because my worldview is not the same way it was when I was 18 years old. I get it, I get it. So
You know what I had to learn? You know what I had to learn through trial and error? Trial and error.
what's that?
Anger is a choice.
True,
Anger is a
true.
choice. If
Yeah.
you just stop and think about the consequences of your anger, you'll really stop and like, that was crazy. This person or whatever I'm angry about, this too shall pass, and I will have done something stupid that will be detrimental to the well-being of my life forever if I do something stupid. We have a classmate right now that just disappoints me tremendously. Daryl Smith.
Yeah. Yep.
That
Very
hurts,
sad.
man.
Yeah, very sad. Yep.
Yeah.
For a number of different reasons.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we have to be mindful of how we react to things. And this is another thing that I would want to bring to the table as far as the city council is concerned. I want to be really rigid in removing all emotions and opinions from City Hall and stay straight to the facts of the agenda beforehand. Therefore, it doesn't get stupid. If you stay straight on the facts and not be opinionated or emotionally attached to this or that, they should be all right.
I feel you, man. Absolutely, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And that being said, I mean, well, I know we discussed a lot of different issues and everything tonight. Now, for
Man,
the
I'm your friend. We can talk about whatever, bro.
no doubt, no doubt. But for the folks out there listening, how can they learn more about you, and how can they get in contact with your organization to give you support and anything that people want to do to help you along your journey? To because the election is in March, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
So what can people do to help you along the way and to learn more about your organization?
Well, it's a public forum. Everything is public knowledge. But if they want to contribute to the Derek Mack Foundation, the Derek Mack campaign for Post One City Council for Warner Robins, you can donate through my Cash App, which is $MACKTION and the number one. I say again, lowercase MACKTION and the number one. And if you want to do PayPal, you can just do derek.mack@cots.net, my email, and that'll link you to us. And everything is connected to our campaign contribution fund, because, man, it's expensive to run these type of campaigns because signs, shirts, advertisement, and so forth. But this is the thing. I just really want people to know that I'm willing to do whatever I can to move the city forward with the best interest of every citizen and or constituent. I love Warner Robins. Everybody says on their campaigns that, I love the city, I want to serve, but I really, really mean that, because even if I don't win, even though I don't want to put that in the atmosphere, we're still going to service this community. And if you look at my track record, as you spoke of earlier, you can see this is just what I do.
Yeah.
This is just what I do. People reach out to me all the time, but when I feel something in my spirit, I do it. I have nothing personally to gain from this labor of love that we're embarking on.
Right.
I don't need any recognition. I don't need any publicity, popularity. I don't need any of that. I just want to serve my community.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and anyone from the area, they know your name because once again, you've built a strong reputation. Everybody knows, like if, the parties that you throw, like on Saturdays. I know I went to a couple of your parties at the Mexican restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It's like and you're like part of the fabric of that area, man. So,
and let me tell you where that came from, Alonzo.
what was that?
I didn't have any aspirations of being a DJ.
Mm-hmm.
I again was thinking of my community. There's nothing for us to do,
Yeah,
so I did it myself.
yeah. Because I remember, man. Once again, back when we were kids, man. On Friday, Saturday nights, man. Friday night, you go to Pearl Stevens. You know,
Yep.
on Saturday
Or the
night,
center.
you go into Olympia. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, is there anything like that for our young people or anything?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I've learned about the high school students.
Mm-hmm.
They don't frequent anything like that. They have what they call kickbacks at each other's houses. That's
Kickback,
what
really?
that's what they call them, kickbacks. If you were to throw a party for, because I did a Sweet 16 for this young lady one time, and it was a good turnout. But the older kids, the 15, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they didn't want to be anywhere confined to that because Warner Robins, the kids, they're doing a lot of stuff that we didn't do. And they have more access to things that we didn't have access to.
True, true.
So to corral them into one place, it's got to start at the house, man. But so therefore, I had gotten sick, but I was starting a foundation called the Immaculate Enrichment Foundation for our youth, and the motto and the charter followed that of another organization called Son of a Saint, and is where you tangibly get a group of men and women and take kids from like the second and third grade level and take them all the way through to the eighth grade, and you stay with them to mold their lives in that capacity. But I was raising money for that, trying to get that off the ground, but it just fell through. And I took 100 people to the Bahamas.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for Warner Robins, I did a thing where a lot of people from here had never been anywhere else. They felt like it was unaffordable. So I created a situation where I booked a cruise where they could pay $25 to lock their room in, and they had 8 months to pay for a $400 room on a ship. And they had to pay $150 for a bus ride from Warner Robins, Georgia, to Miami, Florida, where we got on the boat and went to the Bahamas, spent the night in the Bahamas. And we had the best time and came back. And people want me to do it again. But right after that, that was in, I say, 2018. And right when we were gearing up to do it again, I remember I was watching the Saints and the Rams game. I'm a Saints fan. And, man, I just had a situation where I started bleeding. And I had polyps as big as thumbs. And I had to have colon resection surgery.
Oh no. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that knocked me out of the box. So I was out of the box. I'm still kind of recovering, but I'm good now, but I can't move like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a scary time for me, and that was right in the middle of me raising money for that foundation and gearing up to do the next cruise, because people were asking. I was just trying to make it affordable to serve this community.
Right.
Thinking about people that had never been on a cruise, and it was pretty nice, man.
Well, that sounds great, man.
For me, yeah.
I can imagine how that bus was on going down to Miami, man. That sounds pretty hot. So yeah.
I made sure we left at night so people can go to sleep on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in Miami that morning, and they got on the boat.
That's awesome, man. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah. All right,
yeah.
So once again, for my listeners out there, Derek Mack, City Council, Warner Robins, Georgia. And what's election day again? What's the date?
March 16th.
March 16th.
So you can get on the Mack train now. All aboard the Mack train. Last stop, City Polls, March 16th.
March 16th. And that's the day before Thanksgiving, St. Patrick's Day. So vote for Mack and then go party for St. Patrick's Day. So just make it a
that's right.
Yeah, just make it a whole event, for that whole week.
I was so focused I didn't even realize it was the day before St. Patrick's Day.
That's right, man.
So we can call it the pre-party to your St. Patty's Day.
That's right. Absolutely, man. You want to get a bus, man, and you want to set up a bus ride down to Savannah, man, for St. Patty's Day, man. Vote and get on the bus, go down to Savannah.
Let me tell you something. I am laser focused on this campaign because I want to win. I want to win so that I can really get busy and doing big things for the city, to be able to work with the mayor, the current administration, because we got to turn around and do it again in November, Alonzo.
Oh wow, yeah, that is a quick turnaround, man. So Yeah,
yeah.
so it's
The
definitely.
regular election. Yeah, we got a mayoral
Hmm.
election and a couple seats up to include my seat.
So a lot of work to be done, man, and
Absolutely.
um, I think you're the man to do it, man. So you have my full support, and of course anything that I can do going forward, maybe doing another show or anything, man. Just just kind of say the word, man, and and then we'll definitely make it happen. So
But I tell you what,
mhm,
since these are your listeners
yeah,
and you have the most influence over them at this point, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to be transparent based on what you just said. I
okay.
want you to tell your listeners why do you think I'm the best man for the job? In your words.
In my words, why you're the
In
best man
your
for the
words.
job.
Yes.
Okay, you're the best. You're the best man for the job because you're someone who has a worldview. You were born and raised, or not maybe born and raised, but you grew up in the area. You left. I mean, you went from Warner Robins to a whole different country, to a whole different continent. Okay, came back, went to an area like New Orleans. I mean, so you've seen culture, you've seen how the world works, and you've been able to pull all that together and funnel it into the Middle Georgia area through your good works. I mean, think about it. Think about it. You're someone who who selflessly put together events for folks who probably would never would have had an inkling to to um, to undertake. Uh, there's tragedy in the area, and you step up and organize something that thousands and thousands of people. You actually impacted change to where a young man who tragically lost his life, his family, you know, can get justice, and you played a part in that. That's leadership, man. And that's what you want from the people, in your city that are there to lead you, to take care of you, so to speak, to take care of your community. Someone who's not there just for their own self-interest, but someone who has demonstrated through their life work that they're about more than themselves. So that is who I want in my hometown. Okay, I don't care if it's you or some other person. Just because I know you, I'm not saying it because I know you. I want someone who has that type of attitude, that kind of acumen, the ability to put themselves out there and to take chances for for a cause that's bigger than themselves. And I think that is the number one reason why anyone out there listening right now and who lives in the Middle Georgia area has the ability to cast a vote on March 16th, so should strongly consider voting for Derek Mack. That's why.
Man, that warms my heart. And humbly, I just want to say thank you for those kind words. And just thank you for the opportunity. And let's just, even if your listeners don't decide to vote for me, we just want to encourage them to vote. Exercise your right to vote.
Absolutely.
It's the most important civic duty that you have is voting.
That's
Don't
right.
take it for granted. Make your voice heard. That's the only way. If you don't like a candidate and you want to beat them up, you beat them up at the polls.
Yep.
That's where you hold them accountable.
Yep. Anybody can sit at home and complain, but use that same energy that you use to complain to go to the polls and like I said, complain at the ballot box, and that's how you make your
Amen.
change. Yes.
Amen, Alonzo, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. So once again, my listeners, you've heard it, and I'll say it one more time. Derek Mack, March 16th, Warner Robins City Council. I want you to make sure that you subscribe, sign up for notifications. There will be more information available to you on Derek and his endeavors. And please take your time out to learn more about your local government, whether you live in Warner Robins, wherever you live in Georgia. Take time to learn about your local government and what you can do to help move your area in a positive direction. So that being said, once again, Derek, thanks so much for spending time with us. And I guess I'll talk to you down the road. And once again, you just heard what Alonzo thinks. Take care, y'all.
Amen.
All right. Bye.